constitute the Iebc. We have a number of by-elections that are pending, including constituencies and wards, and it is the high time actually these ones got filled up. So today, the whole day, will be engaged in this exercise to vet the persons who are supposed to sit in Iebc. Vetting is not an examination. It is purely to ascertain the process by which the nominees were appointed was a proper, transparent, credible, and fair process in accordance with the Constitution and the law, and also to confirm whether the nominated person is suitable to hold that position in accordance again with the Constitution's Chapter 6 and other relevant laws. And then after that, we make our report approving or disapproving to the National Assembly, which makes the final determination. So thank you so much, Honorable Members of Parliament. This is the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. The Members of Parliament are here. The Secretariat is to my left. I have with me the Director of Legal Affairs with us here. And to my right, on behalf of the Vice Chair, who is Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, is on his way coming. But we have to ensure the seat is occupied, it's not vacant. And a ranking member of the National Assembly. He has done many years in that house. Also a ranking member of JLAC is now taking the seat. He'll introduce himself when we do it. So let's do the introduction very quickly. My name is George Gitonga Murugara. I think we start with prayer first, then we go to introduction. So let us pray. Almighty God, in your wisdom and goodness, have appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of the people. We beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. So, introduction, George Gitonga Murugara, Member of Parliament for Tharaka Constituency in Tharaka-Nithi County. I also chair the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of the National Assembly. Thank you.
Farah Maalim, MP for Dadaab, a member of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. Thank you.
Zulekha Harun, nominated member and a member of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee.
My name is Michael Mushera, MP Rojero Rock, member of this committee.
Alan Dawood, Wajir East.
John Makali, Member of Parliament for Kandui Constituency, Bungoma County, a member of this committee.
My name is Mushangi Karemba, Member of Parliament for Runyenjes Constituency in Embu County, and a member of this committee.
Otiende Amolo, member for Ariada.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Stephen Mogaka, elected by West Mugrango constituency and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Good. Thank you, Secretariat, led by Director.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. My name is Peter Chamano. I'm Director of Departmental Committees. And on my left are members of the Secretariat for the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. Thank you, Chair.
Good. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think that's sufficient for now. We have a nominee in front of us. I presume, and he will confirm, that this is Mr. Erastus Edung Ethicon, nominated to be the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Am I right?
It's your right, Honorable Chair.
Thank you very much. We therefore welcome you, Mr. Ethicon, to this committee for the vetting session that will last roughly an hour. We will begin the usual process, the way it's supposed to be done. You take an oath. After taking an oath, you will hand over your original documents to the Secretariat for verification. You will then introduce yourself after introduction, we give you a maximum of 10 minutes to walk us through your journey of life. Where you were born, where you went to school, who you are in your career, how you've been nominated, and after that, the members will then field questions. So we may administer the oath to the nominee.
I, Erastus Edung. I, Erastus Edung Ethekon, do swear that the information I shall give before this committee on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. Thank you, nominee.
Point of order, we need to know why the nominee is not swearing by the Bible. I know you can affirm, but you must state why.
You are Christian?
Sorry, Chair, I had not actually seen the Bible. It was not brought to my attention. I am a Christian.
Let him retake.
I am a Christian.
Let him retake the oath. I actually thought he elected to affirm, which is good enough, but you may retake the oath with the Bible as by your faith.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Chair. I, Erastus Edung Ethekon, do swear that the information I shall give before this committee on the matter under its consideration shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you.
Thank you very much, nominee. You may now sign your oath of swearing. Very good. Nominee, you may now hand over the original documents to the Secretariat for verification, all of them including your ID card, academic certificates, testimonials, and any other relevant document you have. Thank you. All right. Nominee, now it is your turn to introduce yourself to us, and in less than 10 minutes, take us through your journey of life, including your academics and your presence today.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and honorable members of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee of our Honorable Parliament. Honorable Chair, it is really my pleasure to appear before this honorable committee to present myself and to have a conversation with you on behalf of the people of Kenya, so that this committee will understand me as an individual and me as the nominee, and what makes me suitable to be confirmed as the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Committee. Honorable Chair and members, my names are Erastus Edung Lokale Ethekon. I am from Turkana County. I am aged 49 years, having been born in 1976. I am a family person, married with 3 beautiful children, 2 girls and 1 boy. And currently, I live both in Nairobi and Johannesburg in South Africa. In terms of my professions, Honorable Chair, I wish to inform this committee that I am a lawyer by training and an advocate of the High Court of Kenya of more than 22 years, having been admitted to the bar by the Honorable Chief Justice Evans Gisheru way back in 2003, precisely 12th June 2003. As a lawyer, I like to describe myself as a human rights lawyer. That's the basis of my career, and a governance expert. I also, Honorable Chair, wear another hat as in terms of my profession, because I'm not only a lawyer, I did diversify my career and ventured into the field of conflict resolution and peace building. That includes all disciplines of ADR and of course peace studies and peace research. Lastly, in terms of how I describe myself as a professional, I also wear another hat, that of a programs management specialist, specializing in international development cooperation, having also worked in that field for quite some time, for more than 15 years. And Honorable Chair, in terms of all this, what I've described as my professions, I have academic qualifications to back it up. As a lawyer, I have a master's degree in law, specializing in oil, gas, and energy law, having obtained this qualification from the University of Derby in the UK in the year 2016. I also have a Bachelor's of Law degree, second class honors, upper division, which I obtained way back in 2001 from the University of Nairobi here in our country. As you all know, University of Nairobi is one of our premier and prestigious institutions. Having completed my Bachelor of Law studies at the University of Nairobi, I proceeded, as just like most lawyers would do, to the Kenya School of Law, where I obtained a postgraduate diploma in law. And after that, that is when I met the requirements for the Council for Legal Education, and I was admitted now to the bar subsequently in 2003, as I've said. In terms of specializing in international human rights law, I have a specialization, a certificate in implementation of international human rights treaties, which qualifications I obtained from the University of Nottingham in the UK in the year 2007, under the prestigious Chevening Fellowship Program by the British Foreign and Commonwealth Office in 2007. Honorable Chair, my academic journey did not just stop with law. As I've mentioned, I tried to diversify, and in that respect I have additional 2 qualifications, a Master of Arts in Peace, Conflict and Development Studies from the University of King James I in Spain. They call it Universidad Jaume I, which qualifications I obtained in 2012. And then later, in the course of my career with the United Nations, it was necessary for me to also understand the discipline and the practical field of international project management. I followed that with an academic qualification at the University of Liverpool, where I obtained a Master of Science degree in projects management, specializing in development cooperation projects. That's my academic journey level, qualifications at that high level. But perhaps most important for this committee is for me to reflect back where I started. From the dry, dusty village of Morulem, where I started my primary school under acacia tree, where I schooled in class 1 up to class 4 under acacia tree because we did not have classrooms. That did not deter me to score an A- in the KCSE of 1991, and that qualifications removed me from the hardships of Turkana and brought me to Nairobi, where I joined the Starehe Boys Center and school. And it's at Starehe Boys Center and school that my life changed and took a different trajectory. At Starehe, we were taught to serve. We were helped and guided and prepared to serve our fellow countrymen. And it's with that spirit, Mr. Chair, sorry I'm a bit emotional, but it's within that spirit that I have focused my life on public service and giving back to the community and to my country. It is at Starehe that we were taught that at some point, this generation of ours will have to bear the weight of government in our shoulders. And in doing that, we must be guided by justice, zeal, and care. So, Honorable Chair and members, that is the bit about my academic journey and a description of my profession. Allow me, Chair, then, to just outline to you very briefly my work experience and the institutions where I've worked before having obtained these academic qualifications.
In 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes. Honorable Chair and members, I have had the rare privilege to work in this honorable house as a clerk assistant trainee and research associate between 2002 to 2003, where I worked with the departmental committees before I proceeded for my further studies. I have worked in 2 law firms, and subsequently I registered also my law firm in 2013. Having done that, I also proceeded to work with the National Commission on Human Rights, which is one of those commissions provided for in the Constitution, as a senior human rights officer. And I think that's when I launched my human rights career as a lawyer. So after that, I proceeded to spend most of the time within the United Nations, close to 13 years, where I served in various capacities within the institution. And in the United Nations, I would like to bring to your attention, honorable members, our role in the United Nations Development Program is to work with national institutions. And it's through that I interacted closely with our work on electoral management. And when I finished my tour of duty with the United Nations, I decided, for obvious reasons, to go back to Turkana and give back to my county. At the advent of devolution, most of the counties were going through teething problems. And one of them that I identified was the lack of qualified legal practitioners in far-flung places like Turkana. And it's within that context that I went back and I joined the county public service as the first Turkana County attorney, established the office, led that office, built its capacity. But besides focusing in Turkana, honorable chair and members, my influence and my mentorship and leadership also reached far across other counties such as Marsabit, Samburu, Isiolo, Mandera, and many others, where I helped our young county attorneys in terms of mentoring them and helping them to set up those very important legal offices. When I finished my 6 years tour of duty in Turkana, I left last year, September, to pursue a career back in international development, and luckily I got a place with the African Union Development Agency under the NEPAD framework, where I'm currently working as a senior advisor to the CEO and an expert on the nexus between governance, peace, security, and development. And we're working to develop a continental-wide program to support our regional economic communities and member states, including Kenya. I thank you, Honorable Chair and members.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ethicon. Honorable members will now ask you questions. And I request that you be provided with a booklet and a pen. You will note down those questions. We are not very many. We'll do a complete lap. If there's any rejoinder, we will give you sufficient time, and members, to ask supplementary questions. Each member is going to ask one question. Apart from the chairman, who is not restricted, he may ask quite a bit of the questions. So I think we start off. Please note, number one, you have been nominated to chair the IEBC. What would you tell Kenyans is your experience with the electoral process that warrants some confidence in you to actually ensure that Kenyan elections are free, fair, verifiable, and credible, which are the parameters of a successful election in each given year? Number two, it has been said out there that your nomination is flawed simply because there were no adequate consultations as regards who should become the chairperson of the IEBC. What are your views as regards your nomination and the process itself as a qualified and seasoned lawyer in this country? Finally, it has been said that IEBC must be watchful. You've already been warned even before you took office that if you try to deliver any elections in the country that are not fair, credible, verifiable, the country may drift into bloodshed. Tell Kenyans, in your own estimation and preparedness, are you credible enough to give Kenyans an election that they will have confidence in? Thank you. Honorable Farah is next.
I notice your journey, and only people who have gone through what you have gone through know how difficult that journey is. Those of us who come from arid areas, we know these things, and a few of us here. One of the biggest problems in this country in any electoral process was the fear of a bias on the part of the chair of this organization, or manipulation of results. And you know very well, as I know myself, elections, particularly in the far-flung areas, used to be manipulated very much by people who are in power. Areas like the north where you come from. And I'm sure you understand that very well. At the national level, also the fear is that it might be manipulated. We have seen it manipulated. I'm not going to state which elections were manipulated, but there are a good number of general elections that were manipulated. What this job needs more than anything else is a very courageous person who doesn't mind and doesn't have any allegiance except to God, his creator, and to the country itself. Having been a Turkana Moran, that is in your blood. How much of that are you going to implement against all odds?
Thank you. Honorable Otiende Abono.
Mr. Erastus Edung Ethekon, and this is not a question, but I'm curious, you will comment on it. In your document, you indicate you speak both the Luo and Spanish. I'm curious to know about that, but now let me come to the question. You know, we have received an objection to your nomination, specifically from Dr. Gikenyi and two others. And the objection is that they perceive that you'd be biased in favor of the current president by virtue of the fact that you have an association with the former governor of Turkana. I want you to talk to us about this so that you disabuse us of that matter. But secondly, you've indicated that you're based in Johannesburg, which I think I understand in terms of being an employee of NEPAD. But you need to now persuade us in terms of Section 6. As a chairperson, you must be a person who's qualified to be a judge of the Supreme Court, which means that you must be qualified under Article 166(3) of the Constitution, having at least 15 years experience as a Superior Court judge or 15 years experience as a distinguished academic or judicial officer or legal practitioner. I need you to indicate to us where we would base your 15 years of experience. Are you a legal practitioner? Are you an academician? Or where do we base that on? Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Honorable Karemba Muchangi Runyenjes.
Thank you, Chair. And I think mine is very similar to what the Honorable Senior Counsel Otiende has stated. My question is on the petition, or rather the memorandum that has been brought to us by one Gikenyi, Dr. Gikenyi, who clearly wants to portray the nominee as a person very close to the former Turkana governor, Josephat Nanok, and who also works very closely to the president. I would want to ask Honorable Chair whether the nominee will have the courage to lead Iebc with the impartiality that is needed, and whether he is patriotic enough to understand that the country expects a free and fair election.
Very much. Honorable Makali, Member of Parliament for Kandoi.
Thank you. We are on the throes of another election in 2027. You, I think, know what happened to your predecessors, Kibuitu, Chesoni, Chebukati. What are the experiences which you have learned from those past elections, which put you in a good state to lead this particular commission so that we can have a free and fair election, taking into account the fact, one, that Kenya's elections are said to be the most expensive. Two, we are very divisive, specifically on tribal grounds, taking into account the two, you saw the split TV screen in August 2022. And three, the alleged bias, which is alleged that you have very, very close relations with Governor Nanok, which will actually interfere with your independence and your team building skills. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Dahoud Mohammed, Member of Parliament for Wajir East.
Thank you, Chair. Mine is about harmony within the commission. My colleague has just referred to a split screen. I think that is a famous Chebukati 3 and the Cherera 4. My question is, what, as if we confirm, are we confirming, or if we vet you and approve you to be the chair of the commission, how will you ensure that this commission, this new commission that we are constituting now, will be speaking in one voice come election time 2027? Second, our elections are one of the most expensive, I think, either in Africa or even globally. So a man who has such a rich CV and who has told us that you've worked with, you have experience in the electoral processes and elections. How are you going to help this country, given our economic issues that we have now, to reduce the cost of elections to something manageable? And finally, Chair, I just want to ask one question. I think the senior counsel has alluded to it about suitability. It says that for one to be the chair of Iebc, you need at least 15 years. You need to have the qualification of a judge of the Supreme Court. I'm assuming that you will fall under 166. You'll tell me if that is different. 166, Article 166 3B, which says at least 15 years experience as a distinguished academic, judicial officer, or legal practitioner. You have given us your 22 years of experience, but I want to see that distinguished part. Distinguished legal scholar or distinguished academician. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Honorable Farah Mohammed Malim already asked his question. He's from Dadaab. Next is Honorable Mushira. Michael Mushira is from Ojororok.
Thank you, Chairman. I have only one question. From the statistics, out of the total registered voters we had in 2022, approximately 8 million did not turn out to vote out of the registered voters we had. And then number 2, out of the eligible, the people who are of legal voting age as at 2022, approximately 5.7 did not register as voters. I would want to know, if you are approved by the House, what measures you would take to ensure that, number 1, out of the numbers that is supposed to register, we achieve at least 98%. And then number 2, out of the number that is eligible to vote, I know here maybe you may not have much control, we achieve at least 98% in terms of voter turnout. Thank you, Chair.
Very good. Honorable Zulek.